All right. Hi, this is Lou Coley. I wanted to show a quick demo of my mixer setup and how it sets up very, very quickly and easily. It's 3 cases in total. This is the work box. Nothing really much in here except for I have an input box in here. That's the DL16 and the Ethernet cable. This also serves as my mixer stand. Usually I'll leave that off, but I'll push that to the side and put the input box there. And then I have the mixer and wireless itself right here. So that comes off. I like the soft covers because they can stuff under a stage or something very quickly. And so I have it set up so all the things I need to access are on the front. The only thing I need to set up is my wireless antenna, which is already connected. I use a Ubiquiti Bullet 5 gigahertz version, so there's no 2.4. I used to use 2.4 gigahertz mics, but I've since switched to the ULX. So that's set up. I reach for the power con. I already have power off to the left here, but if I need to find power, I can just run it straight to it, plug it in, plug it into my snazzy Elite Core PowerCon boxes. Thanks to Mike Thompson and Factor Audio for getting those to me. So that power's on. There's our mixer. And then I'll bring in my amp rack. Hopefully I won't bump the mic stand where the camera is, but no promises. There it is. I did bump it. Let's move it back. So there you can see. And I'll get close-ups of everything else, but this is just to show you how quickly the whole thing can set up. So I'm going to move these two up. I'm a little cramped in the little warehouse space I have, but this is just a demonstration, so who cares? So here's the rack, the mixer rack, and then this is the amp rack that goes with it. These cases were built by Joe at Space Case. Did a great job, exactly what I asked for. No lids. Everything's recessed about 2 inches, and the slip cover goes with that. I got those from where did I get those? Undercover out of New York. And I would plug in this amp rack here. Right now I have the whole thing on one circuit. I can break it up in the back should I need to, but for the most part it doesn't need to be super loud compared to what my Danley rig can do. So power that on. Now I need to connect the 2 boxes. First thing I'll do, Cat 5. That's a network connector. And these are on the switch that's internal to this rack. Tuck the cable under. Okay. Then I have a 4-channel XLR snake. I know, analog, but it works. And I don't have an AES out of my Behringer mixer, or excuse me, the M32, because I'm fancy like that. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4 channels out. That's usually my left, right, and stereo subs. I'll tell you why I run stereo subs. Sometimes in a small venue, I might pan the sub information so they don't interact. So I get clean, even bass energy, but I'm using both subs to cover different instruments. I'll talk more about that later. And then I have the NL4 connector inside here. I don't know how well you can see because I'm not really monitoring it, but there's an NL4 that uses all 4 pins. And on the other end of that, it comes to a breakout of the sub, which is wrapped in red, and then the top, which is not wrapped in red. And this cable usually stays locked, so I'm going to go ahead and lock that on. There we go. All right, we're locked, and so that goes up to the top box. So now I plug this in. Left is on the left. Click. Run that to my stack. And then, same thing. This is my longer one to go to the far side. Click that in. Run to the far side. Great. Now, once I've connected all the mixer part, or excuse me, the speakers, I can get my input box. I use the first input box to get to the drum riser or wherever else that might be. We'll just pretend it's right here. So there's the first 16 channels, and that connects over EtherCon. I'm going to plug it in here, AESA, move that aside just so you can see where I plug into the rack. This just has a small IC connect, or a Edison on the end to plug in near the stage, which I have PowerCon drops for that. This plugs into the only EtherCon port here. I haven't labeled it, I haven't bothered yet, just because I'm the only one that uses it, and that's where it is. I also have a DMX output using an ArtNet node that connects to my iPad running Luminaire. These are additional Cat5 ports for network. That's the USB for the front of house M32. So how I have it is the first 16 channels show up on this box. The second 16 show up on this box. I can have them labeled 17 through 32 for my ease of use. And then I have an SD8 here that has, I can use 6 more actual inputs for the aux-ins because the cores don't have any physical I/O. So I needed something to get the additional aux-ins for playback, for video or iPod or whatever else. And then my outputs, the outputs of the main come down to Midas because I wanted the nicer output stage if it is nicer. I went with that. Then the first 8 outputs on here are the monitor mix outs from Monitor Mix M32. So these both receive the 16 channels. The only thing they share is gain. The monitor mixer controls the gain, and then the front of house receives that from the monitor mixer. So I'll usually sound check from the stage on a tablet and get all my monitor levels where I need, and then I know all the preamps and stuff are set where I need it. I use the same basic layout for any kind of band I'm using, so that vocals always show up here, keyboards should always show up here, and I probably have it labeled on here. I sure do. Sub kick, kick, snare, on and on. So if I only have certain things, I'll skip channels and just be like, okay, the bass plugs in here. There's only one guitar, and then there's no keyboards or anything else, and just plug it in where the channel already is. So I'll use generally the same mics or DI, the same relative EQ and send levels and all that kind of stuff, so it's quick. And then my wireless always show up on the last 4 channels. That's right here on the ULX. That passes internally, so I don't have to hook up anything. I know they're already there, and my show file that's always on here is loaded and labeled with colors and everything in mind for the wireless. Now the wireless would ride on this handy little tray that fits right on top. This is from a SKB case that I keep for my other part of the rig. So that's for when it rides with this rig. I'll grab it real quick while we're here. So this is my little 4-channel wireless rental. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but 4-channel XLR, an actual ULX receiver, and a goofy little plastic cardboard thing, but it works great, really solid. Nice and protected, got a lot of foam in there, easy access all the ports on the back. And then everything's inside. I have 4 handheld wireless and 4 belt packs with lavs and everything else. I have a set of antennas here that rides with that, and a set of antennas in here that ride here. Quick to access and hook up. And I think if I'm smart, or if I was smart, I gave enough space. Yep, sure did, so that I don't hit the top. I can't really do the 90-degree thing, so I'll usually angle one in and one up. Works fine. I can use a paddle antenna if it really gets to be a problem, but this is really killer wireless, so I don't really worry about it so much. And then from there, I have I can't even get this damn thing off. Alright, there we go. So that one goes in this kit. And then all my microphones ride in this drawer so that I can get to them very quickly and grab them for stage stuff. And then I don't have anything sitting on top. This doesn't normally ride with me. This is in a different kit. But let me set that aside. I just don't like to lift things. I don't like to put anything. I don't have to like carry things on top. It makes it a lot easier to set this whole thing up. So let's put an edit point here in case I need to edit. That's about it. Okay, that was my edit. So from here I have a cable trunk and things like that I can quickly grab mic stands and then cable from that will live nearby. But this usually parks right up to the stage. I can butt the backs up against the wall, against the stage, against anything, because I only need these size accessible. And that's it. Like the whole rig is up and ready to plug in microphones in really 15 minutes or less, depending on how fast you want to hustle the bigger speaker boxes in. So I think it's a really well laid out system. It sets up really quickly. It tears down very quickly. In fact, I'll just strike it while I'm talking about it. So I can usually get in and out from the time I park my van to the time I have music playing and I can actually start to tune the system is usually under an hour. I can get it to 45 minutes. And then, once the band gets there, sure, that's going to take a whole lot longer. But this really eliminates a lot of the suck that comes along with trying to be a PA provider guy, because it's a lot of heavy lifting and a lot of work and a lot of interconnects that you have to remember to make sure you hook up. This way everything's laid out and I can quickly see if something's missing or if something's hooked up wrong, because there's really no way to hook it up wrong. You can't hook it up wrong. The only thing you have to be concerned about is where your ins and outs are going, which are on the left rack here. And I will get a zoom in shot, hopefully. But anyway, we're going to stuff this back in here. I'm doing it kind of quick for the video. But I put my NL4, XLR, Cat 5 for the network connection to the SC48. That's the processor, not the console, because I don't have a SC48 Avid. And then the power for that guy. Yank those out. And there we go. And the whole thing is tight. Here, I'll get this one out of the way. Nothing glamorous here, it's just the amp rack. There we go. And additionally, I left a little slot here with a little rack tray to put my laptop in that connects to this controller. So when I'm setting up for a show the day before, I just leave it in there. It's waiting for me when I get to the show. I can walk in to a venue with no bags, no nothing, and greet the client or the band or whoever else, and just, not be laden and rushing or stressed out about getting everything set up or having to work so hard to lift everything. The only caveat is, yeah, these things are heavy and you have to roll them to where you need to be, but everything, there's ramps everywhere. If it's an older building, yeah, you might want some help, but that's something you plan ahead for. Anyway, all right, we're going to cut to, why cut? I'll just come grab the camera. Here we go. So you can see everything a little closer. This is the setup. I have a Furman. That's a AR1215. That's a voltage regulator that will give me 120 all day, no matter what I put into it. There's the panel that I put for all the ins and outs. This used to have antennas on it, and it was up higher. I no longer use those, so they're just there for now. I just didn't want a hole in the panel, so there it is. RJ45 connectors for the switch that's inside this unit. It's I believe it's an 8-port switch because I have the ULX, the two M32s connected to it along with these, and my ArtNet node is also there. I'll leave it powered on for now. These pass through just a hole in the one of the D size punches through, and that's my 4 XLRs that come off the back of the ULX. And then everything else is internally wired. I didn't do the cleanest job, but it's fine. So when I've unplugged this, and I can show you the back, I put a couple panels on the back. Excuse me. Here we go. I put a couple panels on the back to keep it looking nice and clean everywhere it shows up. So the whole panel is super clean, and you know, I think looks good in a corporate setting if need be. And these things will basically disappear if you want to throw some Duvetine on them. Or, and the other nice thing I like about them is it just lands right here. I can land a laptop right there. It's a great working height. And I also use the mixer on the workbox, which is this box here. I'll put that on top, and then I'll be able to roll my mixer away. So that's a quick little video. I'll probably do another one once I actually have all this stuff loaded in a van. Right now it's still a little slow, so I'm not really taking it out that often. So there it is. I'm always looking for ways to improve and ways to get in and out faster and to make this thing more efficient. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.